This is Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. We are the #1 business show on the planet with over 1 million downloads a month. Taking the BS out of business for over 6 years and over 400 episodes. You ready to start snapping necks and cashing checks? Well, it starts right about now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Right About Now. It's our weekly business news of the week here on July 19th, 2024. Joined, as always, by my good friend, Chris Hansen. What's up, brother?
What's up, Brian? How are you today, brother?
You know, I'm not as good as you because I'm not rocking that camo Padres hat. I like that.
Well, I got one for you coming, buddy. Don't worry.
Yes. How is Miami today?
It's nice. It's a little overcast, nice and sticky and hot, like a sauna.
Yeah.
Steam room.
Any events that our audience shouldn't miss coming up in Miami the next couple weeks?
I don't know what's next. We just had the Copa America Cup finals down here this weekend. It was crazy. Colombia, Argentina. So it was lively over the weekend.
Yes.
I don't know what's coming up next, though.
Miami, yes, it's hot and sticky everywhere here in July. It is warm. And this is going to be an interesting episode, Chris. It's going to be a little different. It's going to be an honest, like we say we're taking the BS out of business. And, I like to practice what I preach, Chris. Like, if you're taking the BS out of business, like it means you're being authentic, right? And you're being, you're paying like homage to what you feel like reading between the lines and the truth is. At least that's what I think. I mean, I don't know about you. Is that what you interpret, taking the BS out of business is that?
I think, yes, using logic to see the undeniable truth of a situation. Take your feelings out of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think I've tried really hard with my show the last 6 years to bring an authentic, version of business, my take on things. And I think if you really pay attention, I mean, where most of my principles lie, and I tried really hard, okay, I don't want to make it about politics. And it's hard to talk about your own beliefs and not suddenly make it about politics. And I fought hard against that. But Chris, after seeing some of the shit that took place this weekend, I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to be myself. And the audience that listens to us that may have a certain swing of things, it's fine. I don't want to alienate anyone. But it's just not being authentic myself and what I'm promising to deliver on this show if I don't share my opinion, my beliefs. And the fact of the matter is, I have always felt like, a liberal leaning Republican. like what I mean by that is I have a lot of liberal beliefs, but from a business perspective and from a moral perspective, I've always been more in the Republican side of the camp. I've grown up in the South. I have beliefs. I have children, and I have a moral compass that drives what I believe. And it doesn't mean I'm perfect. It doesn't mean that, I, a lot of times when you say things like morals and all that, it comes with this assumption that I'm judging others, no, I'm as flawed as anyone, which is somewhat of why, if I'm being honest, that I've always gravitated towards Donald Trump because he's a flawed guy. I know it. We know it. But we're all flawed people. We all make mistakes. We all say stupid things. We do things. But at the core, do we believe in what they're doing and what they stand for? And after they tried to kill this man, whoever it was, whatever it was, we'll get into that in a minute, on Saturday, within an inch of his life. And he stands up and shows you the bravery, the courage, and the true patriotism that he has. Because look, if he was everything that that the news and the media claims to be, he would be cowering underneath that stage, right? Because he's doing it all because it's about him and all of those things. The bravery and the courage and the fight that he showed shows what he's willing to put on the line for this country. Like, it's never been more clear to me. That bullet grazing at half an inch from his brain. And the first thing he thinks to do is wants to get up and to continue to motivate his people to show his courage and his pride. And look, I leaned his direction already, but all that did was tell me that if Donald Trump can stand up in the moment of that, what took place there, and show his courage, well, then I need to be fucking courage enough to say what I believe. And that's what we're here to do. And that's not what the whole thing this show is going to be about. This isn't a politics show. It's a business show. But the reality is, I believe Donald Trump's better for business. He's better for small business. He's better for families. And this country needs to be great again. And it's not because we're bad. We're still the greatest fucking country on earth. But we need a leader. We need someone that stands up and fights for what we need and what we believe. And for our country, we need to fight our own battles first. And it's time for us to stop shining. Look, it's not about, and what I loved about, what's happening like at the convention this week is the unity of it all. Like how diverse the party has become and how open it is. Like, it's because we all, I think, have this compass of wanting what's great for our kids, what's great for America. And we see what's happening on the other side, from what's happening to children in schools. We'll get to that with Elon Musk, to everything else. And Chris, it's just time to, set the record straight.
Yeah, man. No, I told you before the show, I've got a lot of respect for, you for one, but a lot of people I've seen with large platforms that have invested a lot of time over the years in these platforms, that this event triggered a lot of people to really kind of get off. I wouldn't even say the sideline, because it's not like you're on the sideline. Same with me. People that know me, they know where I stand. Like you said, people can hear. It's just at a point where it's like, when is enough, right? Like, yeah, it's getting, and what you said, more liberally and conservative. I would say the same for myself. I just feel like what used to be Democrat was, say, the line here. It's gotten way moved of what they believe in. It's not that the conservative side has moved as much as I feel like the liberal side has went way left, where what would have been a liberal idea 10 years ago is now just normal.
Yeah.
What we see as normal. So no, I agree. I mean, I was shocked when it came across my phone, and, you start seeing the videos and evidence, and it's like, holy shit. Man. Like, when an assassination comes, revolution usually follows.
Yeah. There hasn't been one since freaking the Kennedy assassination. Yeah. Reagan assassination. Or like Reagan, Kennedy, Reagan, then Kennedy. Like, these things happen like so rarely. It's not like it's, we've become so somewhat muted and immune to these shootings and different things that happen. But a president, ex-president, former president, like, getting shot at. Are you kidding?
Right. The main presidential candidate, one of the top contenders.
Yes.
And it's insane.
It's insane. So look, here's what I believe in. We need less government involvement in our shit. We need less regulation. We need to be allowed to be carried guns and have guns, just like our Second Amendment tells us. We need to have fewer taxes for small business and for business and innovation to spur. When you have, lower taxes for, the middle class, great, support that. But when you tax the corporate America, you stall innovation. You stall the people that are creating jobs. You create less money in the market. And so this is capitalism 101. And so, okay, and then there's a lot of other things that, like, the transgender stuff. Sorry, men should not be competing in women's sports. There you go. Sorry, shouldn't be happening. Don't agree with it. Don't want my kids seeing it. And so I believe in the First Amendment. You could be whoever you want, whatever you want in this country. But it doesn't mean that I have to agree with it and that I want my kids subject to it every fucking second. Sorry. There you go.
Yeah, we're not going to bend the rules of science and facts for
but you have a right to be it. I reserve your right, just like I have a right to say what I'm saying. I'll defend your right to be whatever you want.
Exactly.
But we don't need to change the laws of normalcy. And what's normal? What's created normal?
You said it perfectly. Like, we believe in defending your right to feel that, believe that, but don't impose it. Live your life.
Yeah.
But we don't need to change.
I'm not trying to necessarily impose my way on you. It just happens to be that there's 400, 500 centuries of, history supporting a certain way. So it's fine. Do what you want to do. Go be what you want to be. I'm not going to get in your way, but don't start imposing it on my children.
Right.
At school.
Don't make it public school curriculum.
Yeah. So.
Because it's not like it's the majority. That's the big thing that bothers me is.
Yeah. We're carving out all of us, the 92%, whatever it is, need to be unfettered and need to be reminded of these things, put in their face, all this stuff that's different than what we believe for the 8%.
Right.
So again, I'm not going to get in the way of whatever percentage it is, and everybody has a right. Be what you want to be. Fine. I support your right. I don't hate you. I just don't want it thrown in my kid's face. I'll let them be what they want to be and discover what they discover, but they don't need to be, I don't know. It's just, there's some things that are just common sense for me.
To your point on that, and to piggyback what you said earlier, the RNC and the unity, I feel a lot of people with kids, that's a big shift. Is the minute that kids got brought into this and how kids are being educated and what they're exposed to, that's when you saw people like Amber Rose, right? Big model, very left-leaning, big part of the women's movement now speaking at the RNC because she's like, I don't want my kids exposed. Like, this has gone haywire.
Yes, that's right. It's perfect. Amber Rose is a perfect example, the speech she had. Because you know what? We can throw all the stones. We can do all this when it's politicians up there that we feel like are slanted a certain way because they're paid under the whatever you might think of politicians. And I don't love politicians either, and I'm not a politician. But when Amber Rose gets up there and says what she says and speaks the truth, you need to pause for a minute because it's not immediately in her best interest to be doing this, but she's doing it out of conviction and intelligence.
Yeah, she was dragged for that speech. A lot of, I saw a lot of unity just on social media, and it didn't matter if you're black, yellow, brown, white, American, not. People are just kind of like over it. They're all realizing life was better not under this leadership.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
And if we want to remove all politics and everything out of it, let's, who's the better leader? Who is showing to be the better leader here? And look, I respect the hell out of every president we've ever had. Biden has my respect. I mean that. He's a president. I don't want my kids disrespecting presidents. So I don't want to disrespect him, but he's not the leader that we need. And he's not capable of leading anyway. The man's 82 years old. And showing it. Sorry.
Yes.
Just reality. Trump's 79, whatever, 78. He's not a young man either, but he's demonstrating an ability that's well above the average of his age. And I just believe in what he believes in more. Period. End of story. And if you're really paying attention and you want what's best for your children, you need to get your head out of the sand. So my head's out of the sand. My head's a mile out of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I really think that this event this weekend, the assassination attempt, got a lot of people kicked into high gear and their heads are fully out now.
Yeah. And this is not going to turn into a politics show. I don't intend to talk about like every nuance of politics every week. It's a business show. But elections have consequences and big ones for business. Mine, I own Ford. Everyone listening that owns a business or works for a business, that has an impact. So giddy up, people. It matters. So that's, we're going to talk about what matters. If I'm taking the BS out of business, it matters who gets elected.
Yeah. That's a big part. It's a huge part.
It's a huge part. To that end, Chris, Elon Musk says he will move companies out of California over the new trans law. Elon Musk says he will move SpaceX and X out of California over a law that bans schools from forcing teachers to notify parents when their child changes their gender identity. Musk said on Tuesday that he would relocate the company's headquarters to Texas after California Governor Gavin Newsom signed the first of its kind law barring policies that require educators to disclose when a student asks to use a different name or pronoun. I mean,
it's total insanity.
It's insanity.
I don't even have kids, and it pisses me off.
It's like, who's raising our children? The school system or the parents?
Well, that's my thought is like, if you birth these children, who the hell is a school to have any say at all, really?
Yeah.
Outside of like following, like walk in line, be respectful, right? The basics. This is lunacy.
You know what I just heard? I just heard a lot of U-Haul trailers backing up the houses to move out of California.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah. Hey. I bet a lot of Californians in Florida, you didn't used to meet, no one was leaving California 10 years ago.
Yeah. Weather's great. Love the weather for the most part.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Especially like SoCal.
It's beautiful.
But no, thank you. You're not telling me, not keeping information from me about my children and their pronouns. Children. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm not for violence, but I would smack Gavin Newsom right in the face over this. I'm just going to tell you. Like, I wouldn't hit anybody. I don't want to get sued, but he might get smacked. Like, are you kidding? What? I read this and I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
I swear,
like, really?
We're in a different reality, bro. Straight up.
Yeah. So even Elon Musk, who we all can admit, seems like he's on the deep end. Well, he's gone all in. And you can love or hate Elon Musk. He's one of the smartest guys on the planet.
And he's got a lot of kids.
He's got a lot of
9 kids or something.
And he's all in on Trump. He knows and he sees what's happening. He did. And he even has a child, I think, that goes by a different pronoun or whatever. But I think he's acknowledging and saying, I'd like to have known and seen this train heading off course a lot earlier. Maybe, at least to give some guidance, some teaching. And again, things happen biologically. There's some things that are way out of my pay grade for what influences people to be certain ways. And this isn't about judgment. Mm. But parents that birth the child, that had the children, have the right to influence their children and to guide them and to teach them. And Elon Musk is saying enough. He's taking a lot of freaking money right out of California over this. And, he's pretty smart. So we'll see. Another one person that's pretty smart. Oh, Amazon. Hey, it's Prime Days. Hey, it's Prime Days more than one. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos says Trump showed grace and courage in response to assassination attempt. Yeah, he did. You know what else is in the game? Who's always in the game, Chris? Who is always in the game? You know who it is. Branded bills. BrandonBills.com, the official merchandise sponsor of Right About Now. Go to BrandonBills.com. Go in that top right corner. Custom. You go fill out the form. We've already talked about the business. No cold. I do nocoldcalling.com. That's what Brandon Bills needs to start. Because you're sending custom merch is the warm call. You want it for your golf tournament. You want it for that church social coming up. Whatever it is. You want custom gear with your logo, your event name, merch, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. And of course, it is Brandon Bills. The best hats in the business. We love them. We appreciate them. Brandon Bills, BrandonBills.com, official merchandise sponsor of Right About Now and Ryan Alford. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos offered praise for former President Trump after the attempted assassination of the former president on Saturday. This is from FoxBusiness.com. Lauding his grace and courage, Trump was shot in the upper part of his right ear while speaking at a political rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday. The assassination attempt was carried out by Thomas Matthew Crooks, who was killed by Secret Service snipers. This is directly from Bezos. Our former president showed tremendous grace and courage under literal fire tonight. So thankful for his safety and so sad for the victims and their families. He wrote this on a post on X. One attendee was killed, others were injured. He saw what was the obvious, which is a lot of grace and a lot of courage and a lot of balls. Let's just say that.
A lot of balls, bro.
Yeah, you know.
That shit fired everybody up.
Look, I'm sorry. I'd like to think I'd react the same way. But you're getting a freaking sniper shot at you.
Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, like it shows how firm and committed he is to this country. That's what it showed me. You could say, well, in that moment, he was self-serving, all that. Like, if that was true, he would have hit him to that thing. He got 10 guys on top of him. He was stayed underneath all 10 of them, right? So, yeah. I think we know and appreciate Bezos at least coming out and say the obvious. You know, I don't remember hearing grace and courage from Biden. I mean, he wished him well. You know, he said that we can't have that happen, which he's right. But I don't remember grace and courage being the words used by the president.
Most of the mainstream media was saying, oh, Trump fell at event. They weren't even saying it was an assassination attempt.
Bitcoin soared to a 2-week high after the Trump attack. It's from Reuters.com. Bitcoin surged to a 2-week high on Monday after the attempted assassination of U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump raised the odds of the former president, who has presented himself as a champion of cryptocurrency, winning the upcoming election. Trump said he was shot in the ear during the attack. Some investors said the attack bolstered his chances of winning back the White House, and trades betting on his victory are expected to increase this week. Bitcoin rose 8.6% to 62,500 and some change, touching a 2-week high. Are we staying there, Chris? You would know this better than others as a avid Bitcoin holder.
We're going to stay higher, I think. So it was down the last month or so because actually Germany was unloading a bunch of Bitcoin they had seized. The country they'd seized it from some illegal websites. So they were offloading a lot of Bitcoin over the last month. So the price was down, and then it's pretty much sticking up now around over 60 because Trump, and this is another interesting thing to put together, right? I saw this online yesterday. A lot of the assassination attempts on presidents have been presidents trying to change monetary policy. So you had JFK trying to put us back on, I believe it was the silver monetary system, backed by silver. Reagan trying to put us back on the gold currency system, so our monetary was backed by gold. And then you have Trump, a big advocate for cryptocurrency, moving power away from the banks. You see a pattern here. Any president that's trying to take power from the Federal Reserve and the monetary system seems to be targeted. Food for thought, right?
Yeah, I mean, the
little truth bomb right there.
Like I mean, the conspiracy theories, I like to stay away from them.
Yeah.
But damn, I mean, we give a lot of, this is a lot of
some examples
fruit for it. It's
right.
like, I mean,
something to think about.
The colossal failure of whoever didn't cover that rooftop. Look, even I think one of the Trump's sons, said it best. Two things can be, and I've been saying this a lot, two things can be true at the same time. The men and women that were on that stage that showed great bravery and great courage and did what they did for Donald Trump in that moment, they're great people. There's great people in the Secret Service. But the failure of leadership or whoever defined that perimeter what makes you scratch your head. My 8-year-old, I think, would have set that perimeter up better.
Well, they had a Secret Service.
Hey, Daddy, why did they have somebody on that roof? It's a good question, son. I have no fucking idea.
Well, the director's reason was it was sloped. That was it.
Yeah. No. So sloped that
there were snipers on the same type of sloped roof 150 yards away.
Yeah.
A lot of questions.
It's one of two things. The largest colossal failure in Secret Service history, or something more nefarious. It's one or the other.
To be determined.
Neither one of them are good.
Right.
If Biden was there, is there somebody on that roof? Then it begs that question. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to these questions. But you got to ask them. Crazy. And Bitcoin soaring because people got to see what a real leader looks like, and he believes in crypto. Go figure. This is interesting. Trump media shares surged 50% after assassination. I mean, not that surprising. Trump Media Technology Group shares price spiked 48% in pre-market trading off earlier highs, putting it on track for its single best day since the company debuted in late March. At one point on Monday, shares were up as much as 71% as traders boosted the odds that Trump will win the election. I mean, so anything kind of like, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. Just this, how much it boosted the economy. Like this negative, horrible event. But because everyone's interpreting it as it's pushing Trump's chances of winning, the economy is doing better already.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And, when you show grace and you show courage, those aren't my words. Those are Jeff Bezos' words. Good things happen. It's amazing. The Delta says the Olympics will cost it $100 million as travelers skip Paris. For more than 10,000 Olympic athletes making it to Paris this summer. I mean, talk about I feel like the lowest I've heard about. Maybe it's the pain of having an election year along with the Olympics. I don't know how often that happens, but it's like we're drowning out the Olympics. I feel like normally in the Summer Olympics, I can't get away from it. And I really like the Olympics. I mean, at least the competition and Go USA and all these things, but I almost feel like it's like getting drowned out because of all this stuff. Yeah. And nonetheless, Delta Airlines says travelers are avoiding Paris this summer and booking to destinations elsewhere, mounting to a $100 million hit for the airline during an otherwise bustling summer for European travel. Their forecast fell short of Wall Street expectations after airlines flooded the market with added flights. The airline reiterated its full-year outlook on Thursday. Unless you're going to the Olympics, people aren't going to Paris. Very few are. Not surprising. I mean, you don't want to get in the middle of that if you're not.
Yeah, I don't want to be around that. If I'm trying to relax and vacation, I don't want to.
No, traffic everywhere and everything. But I mean, are you a big Olympics guy? You get into the Olympics?
I'm like you. I enjoy it. It's cool. There's nothing I'm like, I need to get home and put this on. But I have it on the TV when it's playing. I enjoy it. It's cool.
I feel like, and again, I think there's just my attention is splintered. I think so. I'm gonna self-diagnose here. When we have greatness, like when you had Michael Phelps who had won something, like you had, and I'm not saying we don't have that with Katie Ledecky, we have a few of those, but it feels like we're sort of absent of the superheroes of the Olympics right now.
Yeah.
The number that there has been in the past. that greatness sort of attracts the buzz. The halo comes in. And I feel like either maybe we have them and they're not being marketed as well, or there's just not as many of those superheroes that are bringing my attention there. So it'll be interesting, the numbers and the ratings, because typically it's a cash cow for ratings and marketers and marketing. So it'll be interesting how those numbers fall with everything else that's kind of going on and attention being splintered.
Yeah.
It feels like the social aspect of this will be fascinating. Like how much I know 8 years ago, we had social media, but we're getting at such this pinnacle between TikTok and Instagram and video and all these things. Like the impact and or buzz or lack of buzz potentially generated, from the Olympics, like replaying highlights and different things like that. So that'll be fascinating for me. And the spin from the marketing to see how advertisers are, leveraging and not leveraging, et cetera. Because it just felt like you normally would see the spokesperson, like more of these spokespeople like Phelps or others that are like all over it. And you hear some things with like basketball and things like that, LeBron. But the biggest thing I've seen is like, why is the MVP of the NBA Finals isn't on the Olympics team? Jaylen Brown. What a travesty. They say it's because Nike's not wearing Nike shoes. Like what?
Stupid.
Yeah. Dude wins Eastern Conference MVP and the NBA Finals MVP, and he's not on the Olympic team. I don't know why that guy gets shunned. You get Jaylen Brown on the show. Talk about all that. And I'll say this. My dad called me last week. He said, Ryan, I got an idea for you. You should get Donald Trump on your show.
You're like, oh, thanks, Dad. I've never thought of that. I was like,
that is a good idea. I was like, and you know what? We got the #1 show in marketing and business tonight, but we'll make that phone call.
I mean, the dude's got some marketing experience, that's for sure. And business, for sure.
We'd be down with that.
Yeah.
Donald Trump Jr.
Set it up.
Donald Trump Jr. I think's liked a couple of my posts before. Yeah. So it's been a while, but I could get that. We could make that happen, right? Yeah. Brianna, you're on that? Check. Oh, maybe. He might be busy, but we'll make the attempt. We'll make the attempt. We'll get him on here. That's the news for today, my friends. A few other things I don't feel like, I think we got on the soapbox a little bit. Get a tight 31 minutes. Any final thoughts on all this, Chris? Absorbing,
I got a lot of thoughts on it. Just general advice. Like, we all know what happened now. Like, stay positive. Do what you can in your own life. Try to be an impact locally. I mean, it's really easy to get sucked into the TV all day with all this drama and stuff. It's like, all right, absorb it. Now let's see what you can do in your world to make a difference.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. And that's why I've stayed out of it, because it sort of gets in my way when I get too involved in this stuff, because there's only certain things you can control, and that's why I've stayed out of it more than anything. It's like, if I can't control it, I don't want it getting in my way. Cause I'll tell you this, regardless of who the president, I'm going to go get mine. My goals are going to stay the same. I may not agree with it. I'm going to try to fight like hell for what I think is best for my kids and my family. But now more than ever, we need new leadership. We need to focus on America, because we're getting eerily away from what's made us great. Beliefs. In God we trust. A lot of things. Just saying. So you need to start paying attention. We're taking the BS out of business. We're bringing it direct to you. Chris, appreciate you, brother. Hope you have a great rest of the week. You know where to find us, ryanisright.com. You'll find highlight clips, all the stuff today, and the big soapbox I'm sitting on. Let's make America great again. We'll see you next time on Right About Now.
This has been Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. Visit ryanisright.com for full audio and video versions of the show or to inquire about sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening.